Hello again, it's Noob. Now, recently I was looking at Amazon.co.uk and I was just browsing for lockpick sets, not because I need any more, I clearly don't, but I like to see what's coming out that's new, and that's a good place as any to just have a browse, usually of newer Chinese lockpick sets. And I saw this set, which I'll show you when I open the box in a minute, but when I ordered it, I had no idea it would come in such a nice box, really. A lot of the lockpick sets, especially ones with practice locks, come in like separate bags, not much presentation. You know, you get what you pay for, I guess, and this wasn't very expensive. £18.99 at the time making this video, somewhere around, what, $23, $24, something like that. So it wasn't an expensive set. So yeah, I wasn't expecting just, you know, something nice with some cardboard effect tape on it. Nice presentation. Yeah, just was a bit surprised by that. If you notice here, it says follow us on Facebook. I did check that out. There is a Facebook page. Curious Smith, the brand, haven't updated it since I think 2018 in terms of their posts, but there are other people posting on their page about customer service and things, and that seems to be quite recent, so maybe worth checking that out. Let's have a look on the inside. And again, I was a bit surprised by this, that there's ABS foam top and bottom in this box, just holding things in. Again, I wasn't expecting it. That's quite a nice presentation. Under £20, just wasn't quite what I was expecting again. Okay, so good so far. What do you get in the box? Well, you get a visual guide to lockpicking, which we will look at towards the end. But I have to admit, I quite like the design on this. That isn't horrible, is it? It's you know, quite nice. Although it does say, look here, totally helpful and entirely amazing quotes by the actual people who wrote it, apparently. I mean, fair play to them, I suppose. You get a little card saying thank you for your purchase and a support email. Again, quite nice. You know, nice matte finish, good graphics. I don't hate that. Apparently, if you give them feedback, you might get a little jackknife lockpick set. Might check that out. And yeah, then you get the main package. And this is the sort of image that I saw online. It's just of the individual locks. I wasn't expecting this presentation. It told me it came with 2 locks. I didn't expect very much, and I guess to be fair, it's what I expected it to be, which is just generic, unbranded Chinese see-through practice locks. But I don't hate these. I don't think they're a very good practice aid for a person who wants to learn to pick locks. You're going to need to actually get real locks. But when I started, I really liked seeing what happens on the inside, how a padlock worked, how the actuator worked, how the pins were lifted to shear. I found it very useful as a visual learner. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend practicing with these, but certainly to get your technique down and see your pin placement with picks and things, pretty useful. Again, some people would say not, but I quite like them. It's quite nice having this little silicone rubber coat on here, so a little jacket for it. So it just fits very nicely and allows you to practice blind picking on that too. Also comes with a Euro style lock. The finish on this isn't quite as nice. You see it's got a little crazing here. You can probably buff that out relatively easy with some like 3000 grit wet and dry or something like that. But you know, you can actually see what's going on still. It's not a major problem. And you might be able to tell from the pins either side, this actually has different bitting each side. Probably get the key in the wrong side, of course. But that's good because it means essentially you've got 3 locks to pick, and because this is a Euro style lock, it does have a little paracentric keyway, meaning that there isn't a straight line between the top and the bottom of the lock. So again, just a little bit of something there to practice. There aren't any spool pins in there. Sadly, it's all just standard pins, but again, it's not too bad. Normally on its own, these 2 locks delivered be somewhere around £10. So, you know, it's quite nice having them in a little presentation set, I guess. What else do you get? Well, randomly, and possibly just to bulk it out a little bit, you get one of these James Bond credit card pick sets, which just slide in and out of this little card with it, which has basically got a sticker on it. What are these like? Well, if you are willing to maybe take a file to them and just take down, say, this hook and make it a little bit shorter and things like that, they're not too bad. You can pick a lock or two with these. I do know some very talented lock pickers who sort of keep some of these picks just modified in their wallet, and they do actually carry them around. So I suppose they're not too bad. Like I said, you can use them. They're not brilliant, but you can open locks with them. So yeah, again, just it's not bad to have them, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily going out of your way to buy a set of these. But again, just seems like something thrown in as an extra to this kit. So I guess I don't hate that idea. I never get these to slide in properly, so I'm just going to leave it there. But what about this? Well, let's just move some of this to one side for a minute and have a look at the main kit. What are you actually buying it for apart from the practice padlocks? And it's this. Yeah, it's one of those kits where you have one handle, and it's solid, by the way. It feels quite weighty. I don't hate that. It's got some little grooves cut there, and it's got a collet which says 0.7 mils. And yeah, these are, I think, 27 thousandths of an inch thick, these pick tips. The idea is that you would take one of your liking, you would slide it into the collet there, you'd tighten it up, and then you're ready to go picking. In fact, let's grab another lock here, and let's choose this. One of these little twisted L wrenches, which actually seems to have a little chrome coating on there. No need for that, but again, I'm not offended by it. It's a little bit top heavy, but it's not bad. This is the shortest hook in there, so let's see if I can pick this lock. And it's already feeling like I'm oversetting those pins if I don't take extreme care not to, and I just got that open. And this is quite a wide keyway here. This is quite a wide keyway, very much like you get in the practice padlock there. Maybe just a different handedness. So, you know, even with a relatively, yeah, this tighten up a bit more. Can I tighten up a bit more? Yeah, it does just about hold it in. Let's have a look. Okay, you need to really tighten it, but it does grip it okay, which means it's harder to undo. Yeah, even with a wider keyway, that there is actually, when you look at the bottom to the top, relatively deep as a hook. It's maybe not a problem for those plastic padlocks, but or plastic locks, should I say? But for picking real locks, those are the only two hooks that you get, and both of them are the same depth. If you were confident, then you could maybe file one of them down into a short hook and thin out this material. It's 27 thousandths of an inch, so you could probably take thinning down a little bit. But again, to a new picker, a curious picker, somebody who'd probably buy this set, they probably wouldn't want to get their files out. But here's the thing, you sort of have to. Right, let's just grab one of these here and just try to put it in as it stands. So that one goes in okay, I suppose. That one goes in fine. This one, oh, it doesn't. So some of them seem to go in okay, and every now and again you get one which just doesn't. Let's try it the other way up, just in case you think, you know, it's you. And it doesn't. It just sort of rocks up like that. Why? Well, have a look at that. These are clearly punched out of something, and this here is a little notch. All you need to do is get a file and take that off. There we go. Now I've taken it off, let's try again. And we're in. But how weird. And these aren't finished, these picks. You can see that they are, well, either punched or cut out or whatever, however they are manufactured. But they are relatively sharp edged. They do catch on the inside of the locks. And clearly, some of these, and I think there's around half of them in this set, have little notches on, which means you can't actually put them into this little colletted handle here. So even unless, you know, this kit is a particularly problematic one, you wouldn't want to have an inexperienced picker experience that problem and then have to figure out why it won't fit into this collet. What about the profiles we get in here? Well, we get a broken key extractor tip, which again, not many people outside locksmiths really need one of those. You have a city rake or L rake, and this is actually really nice. I've got no issues with that. It's a really nice city rake profile. Some are a bit shallow. This one is really good. One of the best ones I've seen, weirdly. A double ball rake for wafer locks, like a triple peak. It's not really a Bogota, but it's okay. Like a stepped city rake triple peak thing. A flat head short hook, then a more standard short hook, although frankly because of the height between the bottom of the shank and the top of the pick, they're more like medium hooks, which is, like I said, a bit of a problem. A kinetic style rake, a Batarang 2-peak, one of these things here which I never really understood what they're for, possibly for moving sliders left and right in locks, but it is quite thick, like I said, at 27 thousandths of an inch, so I don't know how useful that would really be. And then 2 half diamonds, which would be really good, both of these, if the shanks were just about a third less. And again, an experienced lockpicker might file that down, but to the type of person who might want to buy this kit, probably wouldn't have the confidence or knowledge straight out to learn how to modify these to be a little bit more useful. Being 27 thousandths of an inch, that's it's quite thick. It's not the thickest I've heard of, but that doesn't allow you to get into a lot of tighter, more paracentric keyways. So these are definitely designed to work with wider keyways like this and the ones that you get in the practice locks themselves. Outside of that, if you don't have locks with wide keyways, you're going to probably struggle with this set unless you modify it heavily, sand it down, do all those kind of things. In terms of tension tools, I don't hate the selection. They're fine. You've got some flat Z bars here, or Z wrenches. I mean, I quite like them. A twisted wrench, not too bad. There isn't any bottom of the keyway ones which are particularly thin, apart from maybe you could use this end of this Z wrench. Be nice to have a few more of the L wrench type things. I think that would be kind of nice. But the really curious thing is you get 2 pry bars, top of the keyway pry bars, and one of them is really thick. It's about 56 thousandths, I think, and which is all right. It just about fits in the keyway. You've got one which is a bit smaller. There you go, which is, again, it's fine. But I don't hate them. They're pretty good. They're pretty well made. They're very strong. And it's actually a welcome addition to a beginner's pick set to have these top of the keyway pry bars. It's actually quite good. So yeah, I'll just put that to one side for a second. Before we conclude the review, just want to show you this visual guide. Now, it says here that this is written for Curious Smith Practice Lock Set by Leo Q with input from the Locksport community. Revision for August 2019. Okay, so that's, you know, it's not that long ago, less than a year. And I have to say, it's not bad, actually. You know, it's got, you know, the golden rules of lock picking. Never pick a lock that you don't own or don't have permission to pick, and don't pick locks that you rely on or that are in use. It tells you the types of locks. I think they also sell each type of lock. So you've got pin tumblers and disc-retainers and dimple locks and tubular locks. It does tell you about them. It's got some nice graphics. I've read this and I have no problem with the information that it's telling you about. It's actually quite nice. It even brings in different types of locks like trio rings and talks about bitting and locks with like higher security locks and things like that. I mean, it's really strange because it's actually got some really nice graphics and information. I really hope that this was written for Curious Smith and they haven't taken anybody else's work, because it's actually quite good and surprisingly so. So this pick set has really confused me. It's got a few good things going for it. So overall, I think for what you get, the value is spot on. It's under £20. You get a nice visual guide to lockpicking, which is surprisingly good. Again, like I said, I hope this is all their work because it's actually quite well written. So yeah, that's worth a look at. You get a little pocket pick set, which is not needed, but like I said, I know some good pickers that have a modified one of these they carry around because it's small. You get a couple of practice locks, which are clearly just generic ones made by some company in China, which is added to a lot of different lockpick sets. But are they bad? No, they're quite a good visual aid. And then you get quite a unique little pick set, which really is the only bit which sort of lets it down. I quite like the handle. I quite like the tension tools. The tension tools are absolutely fine. The addition of 2 top of the keyway tension tools, these pry bars, is really, really welcome. But these pick tools themselves are just a little bit too thick. They're not very well finished, and they have a number of issues in terms of quality, because if you did get this set and you couldn't fit them into the collet, you might not know why you couldn't unless you really explored it. So yeah, very confusing set. What would I say about this? Would I recommend this to somebody who really wants to get into lockpicking, is looking for their first pick set? Well, as much as it saddens me, no, I just couldn't recommend this set for that purpose. Would I recommend it to somebody to buy as a gift, maybe, to somebody who they know probably isn't really into lockpicking but would appreciate something which is a bit of a curiosity, a bit of an executive toy? Yeah, I think if you had a budget of under £20, this is actually quite a nice set. It does make a nice gift, and the lockpicks in here will definitely allow you to pick these locks with relative ease, using a number of different techniques as explained in the book. So I mean, I wish they were a little bit better finished, but I think for the price it's sort of what you're expecting. So yeah, a very mixed bag. I think this with a few modifications, slightly better pick tips, it could actually be quite a good little kit. As it happens, it's a little bit below average, and sometimes not even that good in places, but with some really interesting highlights. So yeah, I would recommend it as maybe a gift to somebody who just might get some enjoyment from it, but not really as a first lockpick set. Right, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all next time.